Howdy folks, welcome back to another video. So this is a Apple Lisa, as most of you might know, and this is a real Lisa. This isn't a Macintosh XL. This is a Lisa 210. I picked this up at the Vintage Computer Festival Midwest this year. It did not look like this at all when I got it. I'll throw up a picture of it right here, just so you can see what it looked like when I got it. Didn't have a front panel, didn't have a drive cage, didn't have a power supply. Everything else was there though. I actually went ahead and put most of it in here. As you can see, there's the floppy drive, 400K drive cage. That came from a VintageMicros. If you know anything about the Lisa, you'll know that the Lisa 210 had a 1.8 amp power supply. I initially bought this, which is a 1.2 amp power supply, and I cannot get it to work. The thing always trips the overvoltage protection. I don't know. The last kind of thing I have there is that little potentiometer. That's the only thing I can think of that is causing this thing to fail. But like I said, it's a 1.2 amp power supply, so it's not really the original one for the 210. Of course, like I said, that's the 1.8. John was kind enough to sell me a 1.8 amp power supply, and it did not work when I got it. Well, I didn't try it, actually. I checked the standby circuit. There should be 5 volts at all times when it's plugged into power, and it was not. It was like 12 volts. So, no idea what happened there. But what I did realize when I took it apart was that the voltage rectifier was swapped with the one behind it. If you look at the schematic, there's, I think, Z1 and Z3. There are 2 voltage regulators. One supplies 5 volts, and one supplies negative 5 volts. Well, or at least that's what the part number says. I didn't really look into it much, but it's an LM7905 and an LM7805. Well, they were swapped, so I put a new one in there. This one, I don't know if it was okay, but look at that. Yeah, I didn't like that. So I put another 7805 in there, and I put them in the correct spot this time. And I do have a positive 5 volts on the startup circuit. That's about as far as my testing goes. So I'm pretty nervous. I don't know if this thing's going to turn on. For all I know, it could. Maybe this thing was perfectly fine. Maybe it's going to trip the overvoltage protection. Who knows? Maybe there's something wrong with the analog board. The boards in here look good. So I have no idea. But if it's going to blow up, I might as well get it on film or video, right? So what the hell? Why not, right? So let's go ahead, put power into it here, see if anything explodes. There we go. Machine is powered, or has power. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1. That was good. That is power on the Lisa 210. Wow. That is insane. I'm not getting any video. It hasn't exploded. That's insane. No high voltage on the tube. But look at that. We've got a light. I'm going to mess with this a little more and see if I can't get it to do something else here. Alrighty, folks. We've moved from the chair down here. I've done a little bit of troubleshooting. The first error code you heard there was a keyboard error. Now I'm getting a different error. I've kind of reseated the cards and tested everything, and we actually have raster, which is kind of cool. So that's a low, high tone. According to the Apple service manual, that is a memory error or a memory card error, and of course it doesn't display any video. So that's where we're at right now, and you can slowly see the raster coming up there. Of course, we got a little bit of folding going on at the top, probably because the video analog board needs to be recapped, but that is video. So I would say we're doing pretty good. definitely pretty exciting. Hey, and I don't even have to replace the light there. It works perfect. I've got a keyboard coming for this machine. Of course, I've got mice plenty. These are, of course, M0100 mice, but this is what came with the 210 from what I've heard. So we'll use one of these when the time comes. I've got 3 of them, I think, so I think should be more than good, but look at that. She boots. This is an exciting day. It might not be all the way, but it's exciting, I tell you what. So, glad I was able to catch this on video, and glad you guys were able to watch it with me. It's been exciting. I can't remember the last time I was this excited about something. And it's just an old computer. I mean, come on. No, but really, this is something I've been after for a long time. One of these days, I'll do a video on the actual backstory behind this. But yeah, it's took a lot of work, and you know we're farther than we were 3 months ago when I bought the thing. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this short little video, and stick around for some more, hopefully soon. All right.